Clinton Miner here from Sawtooth Bushcraft. Welcome back to the tailgate. It's been a while since we've been here. Looking forward to going through a series of tests here. We're always trying to improve things at Sawtooth Bushcraft, and one of the things that we've been working on is something that showed in our first video. That's the Mary Poppins bag, the bag that has all of the necessary things in it to survive and hopefully thrive in an emergency situation. As I was working with that, my initial Gen 1 of the Mary Poppins bag included a number of things, including some matches. And my very first one, I simply put store-bought Diamond brand matches put in it, strike anywhere. And those are obviously better than not having anything, but I decided to go the next step and do a little evaluation of some storm-proof matches. What I've done is I've gotten on Amazon, I've gone through and I've evaluated those storm-proof matches, and I've purchased a number of different brands or distributors or suppliers of storm-proof matches. And what I want to do is essentially a head-to-head evaluation of those matches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with kind of a base, and we're going to evaluate that base. That would be the excuse me, the Coghlins, I think that's how you say it, Coghlins brand, the brand that you can buy at most drugstores, sporting goods stores. And we're going to use it as the base. We're going to evaluate how it burns, how long it burns, and how hot it seems to be burning. And from there, then we will compare it to each of the other brands or suppliers that we've found for storm-proof matches. On Amazon, it looked like that there were a number of US-based or typical bushcrafter suppliers that provide storm-proof matches, and then it looks like what I've purchased as well are a number of different suppliers from what looks like China. So we're going to start off with this Coghlins. What I want to do with this, there's only really two tests I'm going to test out at this point. The first of those is going to be that we're going to light it. I'm going to light 3 of each brand as we do the test, so there will be quite a few of these Coghlins, or Coghlins, I think it is, Coghlans. There's a number of those that we'll be lighting because each of the tests will use those as the control group, and we'll just see how those burn as compared with the competitor brand that we're going to put up. The first thing we're going to do then is light one of these matches, and we're going to use the actual striker that comes with the Coghlins. One of the concerns I have about most of these storm-proof matches is that the striker is actually on the outside of the waterproof container. Now the Coghlins comes with a couple of extra strikers that are in a plastic Ziploc bag inside the container, and that's really helpful, but it concerns me that this striker is going to get wet and that's going to thwart our process. But let's go ahead, now that we've got it dry, we know we're in good shape. I'll go ahead and put the lid back on so I don't end up lighting all of them on fire. I'm going to light it, simply place it here on my my granite block, and we'll see how long it burns and if it actually burns with a flame. I've had some of these, especially the cheaper ones, that there is an ignition that goes down the full length of the head, but there's never ever really any flame. So let's just see how it goes. And what we will do is, as I go through this and work with the timer, I'll try and post exactly how many seconds each one of these burns. So here we go with the Coghlins. Looks like we do have a flame. I'm going to go ahead and just set it there on the granite, and it burned all the way to the end. It did go out when it hit the wood. I think that if I had held it or had been propped on something else, it would have continued to burn after it got to the wood, but it looks like that one worked well, and we had a couple seconds of actual time. I'm going to repeat that. This time I'm going to prop it on the second match, or prop the second match on the first match, so that we have an indicator of just exactly what's going to happen with it. The Coghlin comes with some tinder, just a little bit of cotton wool. We're going to take that off so we don't have any unfair advantage. Again, I'm going to strike it on the striker. I'm going to place it on the other match. Let's see how it burns. There's not much of a breeze today, just a little. You can see the smokes going off to the side, but here we go. Not only is it burning itself, it continues to burn, but it lit the other match on fire. We've got a little bit of fire going there. So really, for a inexpensive and very attainable match, these Coghlin matches seem to work quite well, better than I expected. So we're going to go on to the third test, and the third test is I want to see if they strike anywhere. Some of these have a different color head. The Coghlin ones do have a different color head than the base, and that leads me to hope, or at least believe, or at least hope that maybe they are strike anywhere. So we're going to just try them on a rock I picked up right here on the ground before we got started with the video. I go ahead and, no, we're not getting anything. So it is clear, even though I've messed that up. Let's go ahead and light it. It'll still work with the lighter. It's clear that you have to use a striker for these, and while that is not a game changer, it's not a completely disqualification, that concerns me that I can't light them if I don't have the striker, that the match itself is really of no value to me without the striker. And more importantly, that the striker's on the outside. I'm concerned that even though my matches are in a waterproof container, my striker is not, and I'm not sure what will happen if the striker gets wet. One of the tests we'll do, independent of these comparison tests, we'll do an evaluation of the matches once they've been soaked in water, and we'll do the same soak for each of the different brands. We'll also do an evaluation of what happens when that striker gets wet and how that affects these matches. But before we do that, which will clearly be another video, we're going to go ahead and try the competitor. And the competitor is a very well-known distributor of fire starting implements, other outdoor bushcraft type implements. It's UCO. They make high quality tools for survival and thriving in the outdoors. As you can see, I haven't even opened this package. I'll go ahead and open it up. One of the nice things that came with this is it came in its own waterproof container that is a little more robust than the one that came with the Coghlin, quite a lot larger. Again, it has the striker on the outside. I guess that's for convenience and ease. Again, I'm concerned about that with water, and we'll test those in a different video. But I'm going to go ahead then and go through the same test. We're going to go ahead and just simply, you know, in the UCO, the other thing that came with it is a chunk of actual fire starters. And I didn't know that this was in here, but these are just little bricks of what look like sawdust and maybe some paraffin wax or something like that that allow you to light those and get those going. We'll light one of those as the final little bonus at the end of this. But first thing we're going to do, though, before we do that, is simply go through those same three tests. And we should be able to compare how long each of these matches lights, how long each of these matches burns, not lights. First thing I'm going to do is simply show you the difference in the structure of the matches. The match in my right hand, on I assume your left, is the Coghlin match, holding them at the same height. The match on your right, in my left hand, is the UCO match. I've got them base to base, so you can see that the UCO match is quite a lot taller, wood and match head combined. I'll put them up a little bit so that the heads are the same height, and you'll see that the head is quite a lot longer on the UCO as well. So we're going to go ahead then and go through the tests. I'll put the Coghlin back away. I'm going to have to do something with that cotton wool, but we'll put the UCO away, and we'll go through the same tests. Again, striker on the outside. We're going to go ahead and light that and simply lay it. Again, we've got flame, and it is burning the full length of the actual phosphorus that's on there, the the burning material. It's getting now down to the wood, and just like with the Coghlin, without that oxygen going around it, it put itself out. But lit well, burnt well. I think it burnt a little longer. We'll see when we do the comparison in the video. Second test, just like the one we just did with the Coghlin, we're going to go ahead and light the match and lay it across so it has that oxygen. See how it turns out. I'll try and do it as close to what I did with the other one as I can. It looks like it's burning well. Looks like it's hit the second match, and just like in the Coghlin situation, it has ignited both the first match and the second match. The wind has shifted a little bit. It actually went out, and we've got a little more wind. I think that explains why that happened. But those seem to work really well. A little longer, a little bigger package. That's one thing to keep in mind. Weight isn't a real issue here, but obviously space is. We will go ahead and attempt the third test, and that is see if we can get it to light on a rock, and I'm pretty skeptical that it won't, but we'll just see. Let's go ahead and give that a try. It did not, and I broke the match. So like the other ones, we'll go ahead and just light the third match and see how it turns out with the rest. See if we can get the three of them to go. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and pull out some of this fire starter. Again, I was not aware, didn't really pay that much attention, I suppose. I wasn't aware that that was part of the package that I was getting when I bought these UCO matches. One of the things that I've seen as well with the UCO that I really like is that I've got this waterproof container that came with this package, but I think you can buy simply the UCO or UCO matches by themselves to refill, and that would be nice to be able to refill the packaging if I can. I was going to try and break that in half, but it is not wanting to break, so we will simply see how this works. We're going to put it there so it's got a little air. We're going to see if we can get it lit and see if it'll burn. Looks like to me that even with the little wind that has come up, the little breeze that we're dealing with, it's going to go ahead and take fire. I think that if I were to break that up a little bit, I tried to break it with my hands, but if I were to break it up a little bit with my knife, I would get a lot more fiber going. But it looks like to me that that's going to be a pretty good fire starter. It's going to burn for a few minutes. I think we'll just go ahead and let that burn and see how long it burns. That's our comparison of those two matches. Again, we'll do a second comparison of these matches with water to do to decide whether they are actually storm-proof, whether getting them wet is going to make a difference, and what that will do as far as the value of the matches, the value of the striker, and we will test out how waterproof these containers actually are. The Coghlin container is a nice little size, but isn't very robust. Obviously, the UCO is a great container. Well, I just want to express again my appreciation for your involvement in your review of my videos. I appreciate all of the views and the subscriptions. Again, if you're watching these and you haven't subscribed yet, it does a great service to us. If you'll go down, hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost anything. There's no attachment. There's no obligation with that. It simply is an indication to YouTube that this is the kind of thing you like to watch. If when you hit that subscribe button, there will be a little bell that will appear. And if when that bell appears, if you'll hit that and hit the all, you'll get notifications of all of my videos. So as they come out, you'll get a notification so that you know when the videos are out. Really appreciate the like button as well, telling me you do like these videos. I really also, almost more than anything, appreciate your comments. I'd like your input and ideas, your experiences that can help me expand my knowledge, because a big part of what I'm doing here is not me teaching you, it's me learning myself and sharing that learning experience with you. This is Clinton Miner from Sawtooth Bushcraft. Remember, if you're prepared, you're never really lost.